With their delicious assortment of cheese, meats, and fruits, charcuterie boards are wildly popular. But it's time to make way for butter boards.
All a butter board is just deconstructed compound butter. And a compound butter is just plain butter with anything added to it. This is a French technique that's been around for like 200 years.
Chef John Paul Hutchins, corporate chef for Shift Pixie Labs, deconstructs the butterboard concept and shares 3 variations. Let's start with a roasted garlic butterboard.
Roasted off some beautiful garlic.
Yum.
Take these 2 guys and shuck them and throw them in there and just kind of mash the garlic into the butter. So we're just gonna smear this around artfully. So now all we're gonna do is just drop some herbs on it. Just tarragon, chervil, parsley, and chive, which is a very classic mixture.
I can smell all of these delicious herbs.
To boost the flavors, add lemon zest, shallots, and top it off with some pomegranates for a pop of color.
It's fun, it's a novelty, fun for your party. This is awesome.
Yeah, super bright tasting. I got a little crunch from the pomegranate, so there's some texture in there.
Next, a Thai chicken satay board. The peanut butter base is what makes it a great take on a traditional butterboard.
All I'm gonna do is take some beautiful coconut milk, and then I'm gonna add a little bit of Penang curry to this. I love me some coriander, because it's got that beautiful citrus flavor, and it plays really well with peanut butter. So it's gonna brighten it up.
Reduce this mixture down for about 10 minutes.
Now what I need to make sure is, if this doesn't reduce down enough when I mix in the peanut butter, I've got peanut butter soup. So this has to be smearable.
Once reduced, add some brown sugar and lemon juice and fold it into peanut butter.
Oh, that's so fun. It actually lightens the peanut butter,
Doesn't it?
so it's so...
Yeah, it doesn't feel as heavy.
Smear the peanut butter mixture all over the board. For the chicken, cover it in olive oil, salt, and pepper, and throw it into the air fryer. Once done, shred it and sprinkle it onto the board. Dice up some serrano chilies and sprinkle them over the peanut butter along with some cilantro, toasted coconut, and pomegranate.
Oh my gosh, that's so fun.
Finally, sweeten things up with a dessert board.
So this is gonna be a bunch of fruit, a couple of candies, but I'm gonna be using nut butters instead.
Load up 3 separate piping bags with peanut butter, Nutella, and walnut butter. Then squeeze out alternating rows onto a board. For a little more sugar, slice up some pre-made Rice Krispie treats to dip.
Yeah, and the idea is it just should be fun to eat.
Pile on the fun with sliced bananas, strawberries, white raisins, crushed peanuts, and chocolate chips.
Oh, we've created artwork there. That's pretty.
Everything better with butter at the top of the list.
Welcome back, folks. Charcuterie boards are loaded with meats and cheeses, and they are a great appetizer to share with friends. So it's time for our best friends to enjoy a version of their own. Heidi Vogelsong shows us how to make our pups their very own BARKCUTERIE boards.
Our pooches have been with us through thick and thin, and there's no better way to throw them a bone than with a next-level treat.
If you're looking for a new way to spoil your pet, build them a BARKCUTERIE board.
Yep, you heard that right. BARKCUTERIE boards are a thing. Michael Moorfield of the Arizona Animal Welfare League has a 3-step process to bring European-style snacking to your pooch. And it starts with finding inspiration on how to build your BARKCUTERIE board.
Social media is a really great way to find inspirations, whether that's Instagram or Pinterest or even just Google. There are really cool ways of taking even a human board and modifying it slightly to put in dog treats or things that your dog can eat.
Next up, choosing the right balance of healthy food and fun treats for the board.
Some of these boards can get pretty big, so you're going to want to use a lot of healthy snacks, whether that's carrots or apples or peanut butter or even celery and green beans. But you can also add some of those high-value snacks.
It's okay to add in lean cuts of meat and some of the more fattening treats, but they shouldn't be more than 10 to 20% of your board.
The most important thing is not filling it full of tons of rich foods or even some of those, delicatessen meats, because those are really fatty. Even their kibble can work great on a BARKCUTERIE board because it's something they eat all the time. It's well balanced.
At the tail end of our BARKCUTERIE board building is customization. Every Every dog has their own special needs.
You can really factor in your dog's personality or multiple dogs in your house to build the perfect board. Maybe they have stinky breath, so you throw a greenie on there. Maybe they are on a weight loss diet, so you add a lot of green beans so they feel full, but you're not giving them lots of calories.
And for dessert, chew sticks will always win a wag.
You can build it and cater it to how they like their treats. Since you're in charge, you gotta be smart to make sure you're not feeding them too many calories all at once. The most important thing about building your BARKCUTERIE board is having fun.
Offering Fido a fun and fancy French tradition with BARKCUTERIE boards.
Hey everyone, I'm Shaguna Duolo. These days, you can't walk into a gastropub, without seeing a charcuterie board. They can set an elegant tone and they can cost a fortune, but they don't have to. Heidi Fogelsong has charcuterie on the cheap, and that's our featured story on the top of the list.
Meats, cheeses, fruits, the staples of a charming charcuterie board. We all know that this pretty platter is party magic, but not always that simple to make.
I love seeing a board when I deliver it, when it looks beautiful, and I honestly love seeing it after it's been demolished.
We spoke to Linda Hopkins, owner of Harmony Boards in Phoenix, Arizona, who shares 3 tips for assembling the perfect charcuterie board for your party guests. First, the cheese sets the tone.
So you want to make sure you have a soft cheese like this fromage pavé here, or a brie, and you can do 1 or 2 of those, and then you need 2 or 3 of the harder or semi-hard cheese. Like here we have some manchego and a Toscano and a cheddar.
Cheese for a charcuterie board can get pricey, but there are ways to slice down on the expense, just not the quality taste.
You can go to Whole Foods and go in their $5 less section. They have little ends and bits, so you can get a good mix of cheeses there.
And if you're a party goer who tends to snag the cheese first, don't forget your manners.
When you cut cheese to serve yourself, for instance from this brie, you want to cut along so you can keep the shape.
Linda says that cutting the tip off a wedge of cheese is bad etiquette. Next, charcuterie board meat techniques takes the board to the next level.
And then with prosciutto, this isn't very pretty on its own, just laying on the board flat like this. And I pull off the paper that separates the slices. And then I just, again, kind of make a ribbon with it, fold it up on itself. And then I take a little paring knife and slice it in half. And I fan it out as I put it on the board.
The fan technique also works for salami.
To fold it in half and then quarter, half and then quarter, and then go every other direction with your fold. Then when you put them on the board, they just kind of flour out.
Lastly, the sides bring the charcuterie board all together.
Accoutrements is what we call them. So that could be the chocolates, the pickles, nuts, fruit, even vegetables.
Set the tone for your board with sides that are in season.
So you want to make sure everything is seasonal. The board looks better that way. I mean, if you have a fall board with persimmons and pears and apples, that makes sense, whereas the summer board is going to be berries.
And before your guests arrive,
make sure you refrigerate it until about a half an hour before you serve it. Then you want to take it out so the cheese can come to temperature, but don't take it out 2 hours ahead, because it really should only sit out for about 2 hours total.
We're elevating your hosting skills with the ultimate charcuterie board at the top of the list.